Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach has been entertaining seaside resort goers since 1909. A staple of the beach holiday, many flock to this park to add exhilarating thrills to their sunburn and fish and chips. Having spent ages ranking attractions at great parks such as Disneyland Paris, Legoland Windsor and Efteling, you might be wondering why Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach is worthy enough to join this stellar cast. Well, we had a nice day out at the seaside and brought our cameras. With our wristband and a quiet day, we were able to ride all 27 rides that Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach has to offer, which is a great ride count for a park like this. From the absolute dismal to the phenomenal best. If you believe this park has any in either category, hey, you might be pleasantly surprised. As mentioned in our other videos, we rank rides as mechanisms that physically move you mechanically more than just mere vibration. This means that Fun Factory, full of spinning and bouncing walkways, does make this list. And also the 4D cinema. So here are all 27 of Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach's rides ranked from worst to best. Prepare yourself. Number 27. Bonanza. Kicking off this list is Bonanza, a pony ride. On the website, Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach asks us, can you name all 10 horses? Before stating that this ride first arrived in approximately 1989. Why do we have to be exact whilst you're allowed to be so vague, Pleasure Beach? A very slow ride until it comes to disembarking, and then the horses cannot get rid of you fast enough. And we now move on quickly to our next ride. Number 26. Cups and Saucers. Next up is Cups and Saucers, a very small teacups ride for the very small ones. Only 6 cups, so there's a bit of queuing for this one on busy days. A good introductory ride for the youngsters before you move them on to better rides here as they grow taller. Number 25. Race-O-Rama. Race-O-Rama is the first ride on this list which takes, let's say, liberal use of licensing. Unless they do have permission to use all the Disney and Pixar imagery around the park. If so, I take this back and say this is a very good use of image rights of known characters to show off your rides if you can. So fair play. Race-O-Rama has Cars imagery on it, but I don't think it really needs it for the children, as it is a fun enough ride for little ones that can really give you a thrilling whip of speed on the corners and get children into rally kart racing. What's not to like? This ride does, however, look incredibly cheap, ready to be packed up and shipped off in a moment's notice if anyone complains about it. Number 24. Polar Express. An odd addition to a seaside resort, Polar Express is an Arctic themed ride which gives the impression that it is only Arctic themed because that's how it was decorated when Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach bought it. A fun enough ride, you bob up and down a slightly tilted angle inside a metal tin which hopefully doesn't get incredibly hot when it's summertime, i.e. when the park mainly operates. Number 23. Leo's Jungle Journey. A small carpet ride, Leo's Jungle Journey is a brightly coloured addition to the park that incorporates the park's mascot somewhat into the theme park itself. Situated on the edge of the food court, it's a good ride to pick just before lunchtime as you can ride this looking over there and deciding what to eat. Yum. Number 22. Raft Ride. Raft Ride is bizarrely not a water ride, but a Dumbo ride where you go around in a circle and can use a stick or button to elevate the position up and down from the ground. I do like the pirate theming of this ride, but it's just very limited in what it does, and there are better Dumbo rides here. Number 21. Dodgems. Slap bang in the middle of the park is the Dodgems. Every park has one. These ones have been operating since 1969. Wait, what? Absolutely ancient. I would never have guessed that, and you wouldn't either, as this rides quite smoothly despite probably being older than you, and maybe your parents too. How old are the oldest Dodgems then? Let me Google it, one sec. 1919! And by the Dodgems company, hence the name for the bumper cars. Fascinating. I bet you didn't think you were going to learn anything from watching this. I certainly didn't. Number 20. Haunted Hotel. The Haunted Hotel. One where you clearly didn't read any TripAdvisor reviews or saw any pictures before booking. Step onto the very tiny cars which practically have you on the floor and enter, if you dare. It's a well-filled ghost train with plenty to see, if short. Will you get scared? Unlikely, but you'll admire their showmanship. One of those rides where all the jump scares actually look like the evil beings are standing up to politely greet you, considering how delayed their timers are. How are you, good sir? And you, madam? Nice skull you have there. How very pleasant these monsters are. Maybe we're the true monsters. We did enter their place uninvited. It's a good sit down. Number 19. Flying Dumbo. Like Raft Ride 3 places lower, Flying Dumbo is a Dumbo ride. This is clearly a Dumbo ride. Made famous in Disneyland and obviously named after the Disney IP, Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach have clearly argued that it's called that so we're allowed to plaster it in Dumbo images. And to be honest with them, fair play. A Dumbo ride that has Dumbo on it just makes sense, doesn't it? Case dismissed. Number 18. Gallopers. Gallopers is an iconic ride at Blackpool. Wrong park, my bad. The Gallopers is still standing at this park. Originally built around the turn of the 20th century, Gallopers was passed for a family until ending up in Great Yarmouth in 1954. With its 30 horses and a fancy tune, generations of people have rode but thankfully not died on this ride. One of those rides you can talk to your great-grandmother in the afterlife about, whether it be after your own passing or via a Ouija board, and share fond memories. I wonder if she had to pay more to ride it than you did. Actually, don't ask that one, it'd just make one of you two annoyed. And you wouldn't understand fractions and she wouldn't understand decimalisation of our British currency, so it'd be genuinely pointless. Especially since Ouija boards can't sign fractions like a halfpenny would require. We are digressing here. Gallopers good, Ouija boards, need verbal work to communicate with the past. Next! Number 17, Twister. Very carnivalesque. Twister fits the seaside funfair scene very well, especially with its 50 million or so light bulbs. An enjoyable ride if you like being spun silly whilst chart hits from the past 30 years blare into your ears. What's not to love? Number 16, Floaty Boaty. A ride with a great name. Floaty Boaty actually gained its name after a children's competition, which just goes to show that there is hope for the future generations. As Ampela Rocking Tug, I always enjoy these. They work perfectly as a ship in a storm as they bob and weave and spin. I would actually like to see a bigger version of these in a lovely themed room. I think it would go down very well with the average theme park goer. Does anyone else think we need a bigger boat? Number 15, 4D Cinema. At number 15 is the 4D Cinema, a SimWorks production so you know it packs a punch. Operating every 20 minutes, this 4D Cinema offers plenty of seat movement, water sprays and air blasts to keep you constantly entertained and assaulted. A rather enjoyable time for all those that venture into this, and a 4D Cinema worth doing. Number 14, Monorail. Not called Gunk the ride, despite the massive confusing sign on the station alluding to it. Monorail is an incredibly slow ride above everything else, giving you a new perspective of the park. There is one highlight of this ride that everyone talks about when they disembark. At least I had 4 different people tell me about this highlight. Spoilers! When you pass through the weirdly themed out-of-place tunnel through the roller coaster, if you look down, you can see where they store all the bins. This was apparently very important that 4 different people told me about this site. Although I must admit, I did look down and yes, the bins are there, and it was mildly interesting. I did not film them, so you had to ride them and see them for yourself. Number 13, Yo-Yo Ride. Yo-Yo, it's time to ride Yo-Yo. Starting life in the park in 1999, it was perfectly in time of the yo-yo craze, and this ride looks like a 90s kid's obsessive collection. I can count like 13 yo-yos on top and loads more underneath. It's very vibrant and fits the theme perfectly as the seats go up and down like yo-yos too. I assume kids still use yo-yos. I haven't seen one in years. Is everyone still walking the dog and trying and failing to do a harder trick like 50 times in a row? Anyone? Number 12, Disco. Greeting guests right at the entrance of the park. Disco is a disco. It's very orange. Smaller than some of them around, this ride is still an enjoyable time and has the added value of making those outside the park jealous that you are riding this when they're not. Number 11, Fun Factory. Fun Factory is a factory full of fun. If fun involves a giant empty room with incredibly loud moving floors, but the floors are violent and that causes some great fun when you're in a decent sized group. Sure, it could have better things inside it, and better lighting, and ultimately be massively better, but it's fun for what it is, and certainly has the factory feel down to a T. Number 10, Ghost Ship. Right at the very back of the park is Ghost Ship. Sitting horizontally like most ships do, this ride really emphasises that there is no further park to explore beyond this point. Draped in skeletons, this ride gets really scary when you board the Ghost Ship and see a ghost town. Such is the state of Great Yarmouth now the tourism is drying up. Decent speed and elevation to this ride. Number 9, Lightning 360. A custom built ride just for Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach, making this a very unique and fast standout ride at the park. Riders ascend a tower being able to use a joystick to send their plane spinning out of control, much like if they piloted an actual plane with the level of experience that they have. This ride offers a great experience for children and adults alike, and with its location in the park it enables you to have a very impressive view of the whole of Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach and the town itself. If you're not spinning yourself out of your mind, that is. Number 8, Big Apple Coaster. Big Apple Coaster is a wacky worm ride. You ride through a massive apple that for some strange reason has a streetlight in it. I hope it hasn't contaminated the food, although the worm itself constantly going in and out of the apple has made it inedible for human consumption. This ride is an Alton Towers veteran, having spent 16 seasons at that park when it was the mini apple situated in Toyland, where the Twirling Toadstool's chair swing currently stands. You can say it retired to the beach for its remaining years, but even here at Great Yarmouth it is much appreciated by those that ride it, and a worthy top 10 here. Number 7, Snails and Fairy Tales. Snails and Fairy Tales is a ride where the only justification for the two things involved is the fact that they rhyme. You ride one of multiple different snails, which thankfully move faster than their real life counterparts, otherwise this ride would take hours. There's a French snail, a queen snail, and other snails we didn't film but existed, believe me. The snails take you through a magical realm full of a fair few visually interesting scenes from fairy tales. With the correct music for the Alice in Wonderland section, this ride clearly has gone one better than the iconic Alice in Wonderland ride from Blackpool Pleasure Beach that it is emulating. I wonder if Walt Disney wrote this one himself like he did that one, and gave his blessing to all the copyright infringements inside this ride. Number 6. Family Star. It's a staple for any amusement park near the sea. It's a Reverchon spinning coaster, but this one's different. Why is it different? It's because it's a Family Star. You get some lovely funfair style imagery on it from the early 2000s. Just look at the phone this kid is using. The height of cool. It doesn't make this ride any better, but it certainly helps us in ranking it here. And if you're wondering what Family Star belongs to, it's not just anyone's Family Star, it's Albert's. Number 5. Whirlwind. Whirlwind is an SBF Visa figure of 8 coaster where it does literally that, a figure of 8. And if you're really lucky, you get to do a figure of 8 times. It's actually quite fun, if a bit repetitive. And if you get it weighted, well then you spin loads. That puts this solidly at number 5 on our list. Number 4. Skydrop. Just missing out on the top 3 is Skydrop, the ride where you get to go up high and see the best views of Great Yarmouth. It's the housing estate. Oh, with such dazzling views you just can't wait to drop out the sky, but alas, this is more of a bounce than a drop. Even so, it's very good fun and packs a punch more than it looks like it would. Had I been the owners of this park, I would rather have this face the iconic roller coaster and the beach/sea rather than some granny's front garden, but what do I know, this is still a brilliant ride. Number 3. Reverse Time. Bronze medal goes to Reverse Time, or as I see it written in the font, Steve is free, Jim free. An SBF Visa Group Trabant/Satellite, Reverse Time spins on its axis with the riders facing outside seeing the park in a dizzying blur. Time and motion become things you cannot grasp when on this ride, and also a concept you'll struggle with after disembarking, as you'll need a sit down to recover from this. Nevertheless, it is an exceptional ride offering high thrills without the extreme height or speed of larger coasters. Number 2. Pendulum. Runner-up is Pendulum. This is a fantastic ride. As Ampere Frisbee that arrived in the park in 2022, this is a very sleek and modern ride. It operates so smoothly and has very comfortable ride restraints, which is handy as you end up spinning upside down at over 15 metres up in the air. As exhilarating as they come, this ride almost has no right to be here, but it is, and it is a lovely addition to this park, and a must ride if you visit and can stomach it. But what can beat this? Number 1. The Dodgems. And number 1 of this list is Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach's incredible Dodgems ride. This car crazy ride has been at the park since... Of course it isn't! Of course it isn't! Number 1. Roller Coaster. At the actual number 1 position is the roller coaster. Of course it is. This ride literally dominates the park with its blue ride walls. This is the park's crown jewel, and it has every reason to wear that crown with pride. Opening in 1932, this ride is almost 100 years old, has a brakeman that is required to navigate the track and importantly slow down on the curves, and is still the best ride at this park. Charming and incredibly wacky fun, roller coaster as well as many long dead Great Yarmouth rides appeared in the music video of the iconic Madness track House of Fun. That song made UK number 1 in 1982, and this ride that Madness was so keen to show off when choosing this park to film at, because as they said it was the best funfair they knew of, is also fittingly number 1 of this list. And there we have it, all 27 Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach rides ranked. I feel like this is a very niche video, so thank you for staying through and watching it all. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like as it would mean a lot to us. These videos take a while to make, but we know you love them. Ever been to Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach? What is your favourite ride or memory? Let us know in the comments. Also, please subscribe as we will be publishing more All Rides Ranked videos at different parks that we have visited. Once again, thank you for watching.